Welcome to Module 7 discussion of chapter number 10 Habitat, Living Organisms and Their Surroundings. The page number 140, 140. We will discuss about two important things about this chapter. In our previous lesson, we had discussed about different adaptations of the different animals and the different plants. The another type of adaptation that we are going to learn about the snow-covered polar regions. In this topic, we will learn about the different adaptative characteristics of the different animals, such as white bear, or it is also called the polar bear, the Arctic tern or the bird, the adaptation of this Arctic tern bird, and the penguin, the adaptative characteristics of this penguin in the snow-covered polar regions. This is the first topic of today's discussion, and the second topic of today's discussion is to know the distinctive term of the adaptation, that is the acclimatization. What is the meaning of acclimatization, and to what respect the term acclimatization is differ from the term adaptation. First, I would like to start with the second topic of this discussion, that is what is the distinction between the adaptation and the acclimatization. In the definition of the adaptation, we have learned that adaptation, it is the characteristics, mainly the acquired characteristics or the features of the organism, and that is permanent in nature, and this acquired a special type of characteristics or the features may be structural modifications or the behavioral modifications in the body of the organism. And this structural or the modificational or behavioral modificational changes have generally taken place over a long period of time, and for this kind of behavioral and the structural modifications or the changes in the body of the organisms, they help or they make the organism able to live in a particular environment called the habitat. In short, we can say adaptation, it is the term that is used to refer about the special acquired characteristics or the features which are permanent in nature and may be structural modifications or the behavioral modifications in form in the body of the organisms. And this type of structural or the behavioral modifications in the body of the organisms have taken place over a long period of time, and these modifications make the organisms able to live in a particular environment that is called the habitat. This is overall the meaning of the adaptation. Whereas the term acclimatization is the temporary adjustment of the body of the organism. I repeat, acclimatization, it is the temporary but not permanent adjustment of the body to the changed environment. This is the meaning of the acclimatization. For example, the people who living in the warm plains, when shift to the hills or any hilly region for living purpose over there, they initially feel the difficulty in breathing. The main reason behind this is less amount of oxygen available in the air on the hill areas, and also due to the cold temperature. But gradually, when the people living in their plains live in the hilly region, the body gets acclimatized with the changed environment of the hilly region that is cold in nature, and this is called the temporary adjustment of the body for which the people of plains can able to live in the hilly cold area region, and this is called the acclimatization. And while these people once again leave the cold hilly region and they start to live in the plain, automatically the body of that people of the plain areas gets adjusted with the plain environment once again due to the acclimatization characteristics of the body of the people. Therefore, we can say acclimatization is nothing but it is the getting accustomed or getting used to adjustment of the body of the organisms in their changed environment. And what is the property of the acclimatization? There are two distinct properties of the acclimatization. Number one, it is temporary in nature, not permanent, and it is reversible. Whereas the adaptation is irreversible and it is permanent in nature. And we have also learnt about that the organisms such as the plants and the animals who live in water cannot live on the land. Similarly, the organisms who live on land cannot live in the water because of the adaptation. The organisms have adapted themselves to their particular habitat. For these reasons, the animals or the plants who live on land cannot live in water. Vice versa, those organisms who live in water cannot live on the land. This is due to of the property of adaptation acquired by the organisms. I hope these two terms, although they are very correlated and generally mixed up, is clear to you all. We have to know the main distinction between the adaptation and the acclimatization. Acclimatization, it is nature, its nature is temporary, but adaptation, it is permanent. Acclimatization, it is the temporary change of the body, but adaptation, it is the permanent change of the body. Now we have to know about the different adaptations of the different organisms in the snow-covered polar regions. Before detailing about the adaptations of the different organisms in the snow-covered polar regions, first we have to know what is the polar region on the earth. See, there are two distinct polar regions of the earth, namely the Arctic region in the north and the Antarctic region in the south. I repeat, there are two distinct polar regions of the earth. You can learn in your geography subject in detail about the polar regions. Namely, the Arctic region, it is in the north, and the Antarctic, the opposite of the Arctic. Antarctic, it is in the south of the earth. And this Arctic and the Antarctic are the two distinct regions of the earth which are called the snow-covered polar regions. And these two, the north and the south region of the earth, remain covered with the snow all the year around. And these two regions are extremely very cold and windy. Therefore, the shrubs and the trees, they cannot grow in these regions. Now we have to know the adaptations of the animals who live in these snow covered polar regions. First, we will discuss about the adaptations of white bear or called the polar bear. The second one is the Arctic tern or the bird, Arctic bird. This one is the Arctic bird. This is the polar bear and this is the penguin. And third one is about the adaptation of the penguin. The white bear, popularly called the polar bear. This is the picture of the white bear, or in another word, this white bear is called the polar bear. And this polar bear inhabits in the Arctic region. This is the north of the earth. And they can live in this snow-covered polar region because of different adaptive characteristics or the features present on their body. Number one, having a thick white fur. This is the first adaptive characteristics on the body of the polar bear. Second one is the thick layer of fat. This thick layer of fat and the thick white fur make the white bear or the polar bear able to live in this snow-covered polar region comfortably, for which the polar bear can live comfortably to this extremely cold area. And this thick layer of fat lies under the or underneath the skin. The another type of interesting adaptation on the body of the polar region is the hair fibers. These hair fibers on the body are hollow or the tubular in form, for which this hollow or tubular hair fiber helps in the minimum heat loss from the body of the polar bear. And owing to these three distinct adaptations, such as number one, the thick white fur, the thick layer of fat underneath the skin, and the hair fibers on the body. These three distinct adaptations help the polar bear to live in this snow-covered polar region, the Arctic region. It has also the ears, which are very small, and the small tail. And as they are very small in size, that's why they don't get cold easily. The polar bear has also the padded feet, and this padded feet makes the polar bear walk on the slope. Therefore, the fourth distinct adaptive characteristic of the snow bear is the padded feet. And due to having of this padded feet, the polar bear can easily walk on this snow covered polar region. And what is the main food for this white bear or the polar bear on the snow covered polar region? The answer is fish. Because only the fish can live in this icy, cool water under the snow in the Arctic region. And these fishes are the good sources of food for the white bear or the polar bear on the Arctic region. The fishes in the icy cold water under the snow, they feed themselves on the algal plants that grow in the water of this snow-covered polar region. This is all about the adaptation of the white bear or the polar bear to the snow-covered polar region. Now, what are the distinct or the different adaptative characteristics of the Arctic tern or the Arctic bird? This is the Arctic bird, another type of organisms that live also the these are the another type of birds who live on this snow-covered polar region. The Arctic tern, mainly called the Arctic bird of this region, North Pole or the Arctic region. They generally live in the Arctic region during the summer season. But at the approach of the winter season, this Arctic tern bird migrates from the North Arctic polar region of the Earth to the South Antarctic region of the Earth, traveling hundreds of miles a day. And after the ending of the year, they once again back to live in the Arctic region of the Earth from the Antarctic region during the summer. This is the adaptative characteristics of the Arctic tern bird, and they are called the migratory bird in nature. This is the penguin. This is another type of bird, and it is called the coat-bearing bird. Why it is called the coat-bearing bird? Because it has the black feathers at the back. This is the penguin, and it has the black feathers at the back, whereas the white feather towards the breast. That's why the appearance of the body of this penguin bird gives the look of a black coat bearing bird. That's why this is called the black bearing or the black coat bearing bird. And this black coat bearing bird, or called the penguin bird, is the permanent inhabitant of the Antarctic region. These black feathers at the backside and the white feathers towards the breast, this is the adaptative characteristics of the penguin bird. And for this reason, penguin has adapted itself for the icy region. The penguin generally eats fish in huge amount or in huge quantity during the summer, and they store fat in their bodies for the cold period or the winter season. In our next video, we will discuss the last module of this chapter, the module 8, and this is the last type of adaptation called the arboreal and the aerial habitation. And with this discussion of the module 8, we will cover the whole syllabus of this chapter number 10. Thanks for watching.